She thought it was just a mean joke, until she discovered the surprise that would change everything at her brother's wedding. This is a story about Emma, a kind little girl who learned that sometimes the people who hurt us the most can also surprise us in wonderful ways. At her big brother's wedding, Emma thought her family was being mean to her. But what she didn't know was that something magical was about to happen that would make this the best day of her life. Before we dive into today's gripping story, we want to take a moment to appreciate you, our amazing subscribers, new viewers, and the incredible community that makes Moonlight Tales by Samzy so special. Your likes, shares, and thoughtful comments mean the world to us, and we're beyond grateful for your support. If this is your first time here, welcome. You're in for a ride filled with drama, suspense, and unexpected twists. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest stories. And of course, drop a comment below. We love hearing from you, and your support keeps us going. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive right back into the story, because things are about to get even more intense. This is a story about Emma, a kind little girl who learned that sometimes the people who hurt us the most can also surprise us in wonderful ways. At her big brother's wedding, Emma thought her family was being mean to her. But what she didn't know was that something magical was about to happen that would make this the best day of her life. Emma's eyes popped open like two bright buttons. The sun was shining through her pink curtains. Today was not like any other day. Today was the most special day ever. Her big brother Jake was getting married. "Wake up, sleepyhead," she whispered to her teddy bear, Mr. Buttons. She gave him a big squeeze. "Jake is getting married today." Emma jumped out of bed. Her feet hit the cold wood floor. She wiggled her toes and giggled. Everything felt different today. The air seemed to sparkle. Even her room looked more beautiful in the morning light. She could hear happy sounds coming from downstairs. People were talking and laughing. Pots and pans were making clinking noises in the kitchen. Someone was playing music. The whole house felt alive and excited. Emma ran to her window. She pressed her nose against the cool glass. Outside, the world looked perfect. The grass was green and shiny with morning dew. Pretty white clouds floated in the blue sky like cotton balls. Even the birds seemed to be singing wedding songs. "This is going to be the best day ever," Emma said to herself. She put on her fuzzy pink slippers. They made soft whooshing sounds as she walked to the bathroom. Emma brushed her teeth extra carefully. She wanted them to be super white and sparkly for the wedding. She brushed and brushed until they felt smooth like little pearls. When Emma came downstairs, the kitchen smelled amazing. It smelled like vanilla and cinnamon and something sweet baking in the oven. Her mom was standing by the stove. She was wearing a pretty robe with flowers on it. Her hair was in big curlers. "Good morning, sunshine," Mom said with a big smile. "Are you ready for Jake's big day?" "Yes, yes, yes." Emma clapped her hands. "I'm so excited I feel like I might fly." Mom laughed. Her laugh sounded like tiny silver bells. "Well, let's make sure you eat a good breakfast first. Flying takes lots of energy." Emma sat at the kitchen table. Her special plate was waiting for her. It was the one with dancing butterflies around the edges. Mom put down a plate of golden pancakes. They were shaped like hearts. Sweet syrup dripped down the sides like tiny waterfalls. "Heart pancakes," Emma squealed. "Just like a wedding." She took a big bite. The pancakes were fluffy and warm. The syrup tasted like liquid sunshine. Emma closed her eyes and made a happy humming sound. Everything tasted better on special days. Dad came into the kitchen. He was wearing his old blue robe and his hair was sticking up funny. He looked sleepy but happy. "How's my little princess this morning?" he asked. He gave Emma a kiss on top of her head. "I'm not sleepy at all," Emma said. "I'm too excited to be sleepy." Dad poured coffee into his favorite mug. The coffee smelled strong and rich. Steam curled up from the cup like tiny dancing ghosts. Soon, Emma's cousins Sarah and Lucy came downstairs. They were older than Emma. Sarah was 10 and Lucy was 12. They were wearing matching pajamas with stars on them. "Someone's up early," Sarah said with a yawn. "I couldn't sleep," Emma said. Today is too exciting for sleeping. The house got busier and busier. Aunt Linda came running down the hall with hot rollers in her hair. She was talking fast on her phone about flowers and music. Uncle Tom was in the living room. He was practicing his speech for the wedding. He kept saying the same words over and over. Sometimes he would stop and scratch his head. Then he would start again. Emma finished her pancakes. She licked the syrup off her fork. Then she wandered around the house like a curious little cat. She wanted to see what everyone was doing. In the big bathroom upstairs, her mom was putting on makeup. She had bottles and brushes everywhere. The mirror had bright lights around it like a movie star's mirror. "Can I watch?" Emma asked. "Of course, sweetie," Mom said. "But don't touch anything. These are very special grown-up things." Emma sat on the edge of the bathtub. She watched her mom paint her eyelashes black and make her lips pink and shiny. It was like magic. Her mom was turning into a beautiful fairy princess. Down the hall, Emma could hear her dad singing in the shower. He was singing an old love song. His voice echoed off the bathroom walls. Even though Dad wasn't the best singer in the world, his happy voice made Emma smile. The whole house felt warm and full of love. Everyone was getting ready for something wonderful. Emma's heart felt light and happy. She couldn't wait to see her brother Jake get married. She couldn't wait to wear her pretty dress and dance at the party. This was going to be the most magical day of her whole life. Emma sat on her bed, swinging her little legs back and forth. She had already brushed her teeth twice because she was so excited. Today was her big brother Jake's wedding day. She could hear people running around the house, getting ready. Her mom's voice came from down the hall. "Where's my blue lipstick?" Her dad was whistling a happy song in the bathroom. Emma smiled big. Everyone was so happy today. She looked at her empty closet. All her regular clothes hung there, but none of them seemed special enough for a wedding. Emma had been waiting all morning for someone to bring her a pretty dress. She knew weddings were fancy. She wanted to look fancy too. Knock, knock, knock. "Come in," Emma called out. The door opened wide. Her two older cousins, Sarah and Lucy, walked in. They were both 12 years old and thought they were very grown up. Sarah had long blonde hair that she flipped around a lot. Lucy had curly red hair and freckles on her nose. Emma's face lit up like sunshine. "Do you have my dress?" she asked, bouncing on her bed. Sarah and Lucy looked at each other. Their mouths made small, sneaky smiles. They were hiding something behind their backs. "Oh yes," said Sarah in a voice that sounded too sweet, like candy that's gone bad. "We have something very special for you." Lucy giggled. It wasn't a nice giggle. It was the kind of giggle that makes your tummy feel funny in a bad way. "Close your eyes," Sarah said. "It's a surprise." Emma squeezed her eyes shut tight. She put her hands over her face. Her heart was beating fast with excitement. She loved surprises. "Okay," Lucy said. "Open them." Emma opened her eyes wide. Her smile disappeared like a balloon that popped. In Sarah's hands was not a pretty dress. It was an old, torn shirt that used to be white but now looked grey and dirty. There were 3 big holes in the front. One hole was so big that Emma could see Sarah's hand through it. The sleeves were ripped and hanging loose like sad little flags. In Lucy's hands were pants that were even worse. They had mud stains on the knees. The bottom parts were all raggedy and torn. There was a big rip right down the back that showed the flowery underwear Lucy was wearing underneath. Emma stared at the clothes. Her mouth fell open but no words came out. "Surprise," Sarah said in a loud, fake happy voice. "Here's your special wedding outfit." Lucy started laughing. It was a mean laugh that sounded like a witch in Emma's storybooks. "Hee hee hee. Doesn't she look excited?" "This is perfect for you, little Emma," Sarah said. Her voice wasn't sweet anymore. It was sharp and cold like ice. "These clothes match you perfectly." Emma's eyes started to burn with tears. But these are broken," she whispered. "Broken? No way," Lucy said, laughing harder. "These are the most beautiful clothes in the whole house." Sarah held up the torn shirt. "Look at all these nice holes. They let the air in so you won't get hot. And look at these pants, Lucy said, shaking the muddy clothes. The stains make pretty patterns. Both girls started laughing so hard they had to hold their tummies. Hee hee hee. Hoo hoo hoo. Emma felt something heavy and cold drop into her stomach. It felt like swallowing a rock. Her throat got tight and scratchy. The tears in her eyes got bigger and bigger. I don't understand, Emma said in a very small voice. Why are you giving me broken clothes? Because, Sarah said, flipping her blonde hair, this is what you deserve. Everyone else gets pretty clothes, Lucy added, but you get these special ones. They threw the torn clothes on Emma's bed. The shirt landed right on her favorite stuffed bunny. The dirty pants fell on her clean pillow. Emma looked at the awful clothes. Then she looked at her cousins' mean faces. She felt like someone had poured cold water all over her heart. Are you going to put them on? Sarah asked. Everyone's waiting to see how beautiful you look. Yeah, Lucy said, giggling again. We can't wait to show everyone your amazing dress. Emma's bottom lip started to shake. She tried to be brave, but the tears were too strong. One rolled down her cheek, then another, then another. The cousins saw her crying and laughed even more. Oh, look, Sarah said in a pretend nice voice. She's so happy she's crying. Come on, Lucy said to Sarah. Let's go tell everyone that Emma loves her special clothes. They walked to the door, still giggling their mean giggles. Put them on quick, Sarah called back. The wedding starts soon. They left Emma's room and closed the door with a loud slam. Emma sat very still on her bed. The torn clothes lay next to her like dead things. Her heart felt broken into a million pieces. She didn't understand why her own family would be so mean to her on such a special day. She picked up her stuffed bunny and hugged it tight. Why don't they like me? She whispered to her bunny. But her bunny couldn't answer. Outside her window, Emma could hear cars arriving. People were laughing and talking. Everyone sounded so happy. But Emma felt like the saddest little girl in the whole world. Emma closed her bedroom door very slowly. The happy sounds from downstairs felt far away now. She could hear her mom laughing with Aunt Mary. She could hear her dad singing a silly song while he got ready. But Emma felt like she was on a different planet. She walked to her bed and sat down hard. The old torn clothes were spread out next to her. One sleeve had a big rip that looked like a sad mouth. The other part had brown stains that wouldn't come out. There were holes in funny places that made the clothes look sick. Emma picked up the torn shirt with just 2 fingers. It smelled like old dust and something yucky. This is supposed to be my wedding dress, she whispered to herself. Her voice sounded tiny in the quiet room. She looked at her closet where her normal clothes hung up nice and neat. Her Sunday dress was there, the yellow one with little daisies. Her school clothes were there too. But nobody told her to wear those today. They gave her these broken clothes instead. Emma's bottom lip started to shake. She tried to be brave like her big brother Jake always told her to be. But being brave felt too hard right now. Her eyes got watery and her nose started to run a little bit. She stood up and walked to her mirror. The girl looking back at her had messy hair and sad eyes. Emma held the torn clothes up to her body. In the mirror, she looked like a little beggar girl from one of her storybooks. Why do I have to wear this? She asked the mirror girl. But the mirror girl just looked back with the same confused face. Emma thought about all the pretty dresses she saw downstairs. Cousin Sarah wore a pink dress with ribbons. Cousin Lucy had on a purple dress with shiny buttons. Even little cousin Beth, who was only 4, had a white dress with flowers. What did I do wrong? Emma asked out loud. She tried to remember if she had been bad lately. Did she forget to clean her room? Did she talk back to Mama? She couldn't think of anything really bad. Maybe they forgot about her. Maybe in all the excitement of Jake's wedding, everyone just forgot that Emma needed a pretty dress too. But that didn't make sense either. Cousin Sarah looked right at her when she handed over the torn clothes. She was smiling when she did it. Emma sat back down on her bed. She pulled her knees up to her chest and wrapped her arms around them. This made her feel a little bit safer, like she was in a tiny house made of herself. Through her window, she could see cars pulling up outside. More family was coming for the wedding. Everyone would be dressed up and beautiful. Everyone except Emma. She imagined walking into the wedding ceremony. All the grown-ups would turn and look at her. They would whisper to each other behind their hands. "Look at Emma," they would say. "Why does she look so raggedy? Doesn't her family care about her?" The thought made her tummy feel sick and twisty. She put her head down on her knees and let out a long, shaky breath. Emma heard footsteps in the hallway. Someone was coming upstairs. She quickly wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. She didn't want anyone to see her crying. That would just give them another reason to laugh at her. The footsteps stopped at other doors first. She heard Mama talking to cousin Sarah. "You girls look so lovely," Mama said in her happy voice. Then more footsteps. Then Mama's voice again talking to cousin Lucy. "Perfect. Just perfect." Emma waited for the footsteps to come to her door. She waited for Mama to peek in and see if she was ready. But the footsteps went back downstairs instead. Even Mama forgot about her. Emma looked at the torn clothes again. She tried to imagine feeling happy in them. She tried to imagine smiling and dancing at the wedding. But all she could think about was how everyone would stare, how they would point and whisper. She picked up her favorite stuffed bear, Mr. Buttons. He was brown and soft and had kind button eyes. She hugged him tight against her chest. "At least you still love me, Mr. Buttons," she whispered into his fuzzy ear. "Even if I have to wear ugly clothes, you still think I'm okay." Mr. Buttons didn't say anything back, but Emma felt a little bit better holding him. Sometimes when everything felt too big and scary, Mr. Buttons helped her remember that she was still the same Emma inside, no matter what. But today, even Mr. Buttons couldn't make the hurt feeling go away completely. Emma still felt small and forgotten and very, very alone. Emma sat on her bed, holding the torn clothes in her small hands. Tears rolled down her cheeks like tiny raindrops. The holes in the fabric looked like sad eyes staring back at her. She felt so small and alone. Then she heard soft footsteps in the hallway. Tap, tap, tap. The sound was gentle, like a friendly knock on a door. Emma looked up and saw Grandma Rose standing there. Her white hair was pulled back in a neat bun. Her kind eyes sparkled like stars. "Oh, my sweet little flower," Grandma Rose said in her warm, honey voice. "What are these tears for?" Emma's lip wobbled. She held up the torn clothes. "The cousins gave me these to wear to Jake's wedding. They laughed at me, Grandma. They were so mean." Grandma Rose's face changed. Her eyebrows came together like storm clouds. Her mouth made a straight line. But when she looked at Emma, her eyes became soft again. "Those girls made a big mistake," Grandma Rose said firmly. She walked over and sat on the bed next to Emma. The bed made a little squeak sound. "They don't know about the special secret." "What secret?" Emma asked. She wiped her nose with the back of her hand. Grandma Rose smiled a mysterious smile. Her eyes twinkled like she knew something wonderful. "Come with me, my dear one. I have something magical to show you." She took Emma's hand. Her skin felt soft and warm, like a cozy blanket. They walked down the long hallway together. Their feet made quiet sounds on the wooden floor. Step, step, step. They stopped at a door Emma had never noticed before. It was painted white with little gold flowers on it. Grandma Rose pulled out a tiny key from her pocket. The key was shiny and old-looking. "This room," said Grandma Rose, "holds the most beautiful surprise." She put the key in the lock. Click. The door opened slowly. Emma gasped. Her eyes grew as big as dinner plates. The room was like a fairy tale place. Sunlight came through lace curtains, making everything glow golden. There were mirrors with fancy gold frames. A big closet stood against one wall. "Your brother Jake loves you very much," Grandma Rose said. She walked to the closet and put her hands on the doors. "He wanted you to feel like the most special little girl in the whole world on his wedding day." She opened the closet doors wide. Emma's mouth fell open. Hanging inside was the most beautiful dress she had ever seen. It was pure white, like fresh snow or fluffy clouds. The fabric looked soft and silky. Tiny pearls were sewn all around the collar like dewdrops. "Is that Is that for me? Emma whispered. Her voice was so quiet, like a butterfly landing on a flower. Yes, my precious girl, Grandma Rose said. Her voice was full of love. Jake picked this out just for you. He said his little sister needed to look like a princess. Emma reached out to touch the dress. The fabric felt like touching a soap bubble. It was so soft and smooth. Little sparkles were sewn into the skirt. When the light hit them, they twinkled like tiny stars. But why didn't he give it to me himself? Emma asked. Grandma Rose knelt down so her eyes were the same height as Emma's. He wanted it to be a surprise. He asked me to keep it safe until today. Those mean cousins tried to ruin the surprise, but they couldn't. Love always wins over meanness. Grandma Rose lifted the dress carefully from the closet. It seemed to float in her hands like a cloud. Let's get you ready, my beautiful granddaughter. First, Grandma Rose helped Emma wash her face with cool water. The tears disappeared like magic. Then she brushed Emma's hair until it shone like silk. Each brush stroke felt gentle and loving. Now for the dress, Grandma Rose said with excitement in her voice. She helped Emma step into the dress. It fit perfectly, like it was made just for her body. The skirt puffed out like a bell. The sleeves were puffy too, with tiny buttons that looked like pearls. Grandma Rose tied a white satin ribbon around Emma's waist. Then she placed a crown of tiny white flowers on Emma's head. The flowers smelled sweet, like a garden after rain. Look in the mirror, my darling, Grandma Rose said softly. Emma turned around. She couldn't believe what she saw. A beautiful princess looked back at her. The dress made her look grown-up and elegant. The flower crown made her feel royal. I look like a fairy tale princess, Emma whispered in wonder. You look like yourself, said Grandma Rose, which is the most beautiful thing of all. Emma hugged Grandma Rose tight. She smelled like lavender and cookies. Thank you, Grandma. I love you so much. I love you too, sweet girl. Now let's go show everyone how special you are. Your brother is waiting to see his princess sister. As they walked to the door, Emma felt different. She stood up straighter. Her heart felt full of happiness instead of sadness. The mean cousins couldn't hurt her feelings anymore. She knew she was loved. Sometimes, Emma thought, the best surprises come when you need them most. Emma stood at the big doors of the wedding room. Her heart was beating fast like a little bird. She looked down at her beautiful white dress with tiny flowers all over it. The dress sparkled in the light like magic stars. Are you ready, sweet girl? Grandma Rose whispered softly. Emma nodded. She took a deep breath and stepped into the room. The first person to see her was little Tommy, her baby cousin. His mouth opened wide like a fish. Wow, he said in a loud voice. Emma looks like a princess. Then more people turned around. One by one, everyone stopped talking. The whole room became very quiet. Emma could hear her own footsteps on the shiny floor. Her dress made a soft swishing sound as she walked. Mrs. Johnson from next door put her hand over her heart. Oh my goodness, she said. Look how beautiful she is. Emma's mom gasped. Her eyes got big and watery. Emma, is that really you? She asked in a shaky voice. But the most important person hadn't seen her yet. Emma looked around the room until she found him. There was her big brother Jake in his black suit. He was standing at the front, waiting for his bride to walk down the aisle. Emma took small, careful steps toward him. Her flower crown sat perfectly on her soft brown hair. The little diamonds on her dress caught the light from the big windows. When Jake finally turned around, his whole face changed. His eyes opened very wide. Then they filled up with happy tears. He put his hand over his mouth and made a small, surprised sound. Emma, he whispered. You look perfect. Jake forgot all about standing still and proper. He walked quickly to his little sister. When he reached her, he got down on one knee so they were the same height. I wanted to surprise you, he said with his voice full of love. I bought this dress just for you. I wanted my little sister to feel like a princess at my wedding. Emma's heart felt so warm and full. You did this for me, she asked. Of course I did, Jake said. He gently touched the flower crown on her head. "You're my little sister. You're very important to me." All around them, people were smiling and some were crying happy tears. Emma heard lots of nice words. "She looks like an angel," said Aunt Mary. "What a sweet brother," said Uncle Tom. "That's the most beautiful dress I've ever seen," said the wedding photographer. But Emma also noticed something else. Her cousins Sarah and Lucy were standing in the corner. They looked very different now. Sarah's face was red like a tomato. Lucy was looking down at her shoes. They both looked sorry and ashamed. Emma felt sorry for them too. She remembered how bad it felt when people were mean to her. She didn't want anyone to feel that bad. The wedding ceremony started and Emma sat in the front row. Every time someone looked at her, they smiled. She felt proud and loved and special. Her heart was full of happy feelings. When Jake's new wife walked down the aisle, she stopped next to Emma. "You look absolutely beautiful," she whispered. "I'm so happy you're going to be my little sister too." After Jake and his wife said "I do," everyone cheered. The music started playing and people began to dance. Jake came straight to Emma. "Will you dance with me, Princess Emma?" he asked with a big grin. Emma giggled. "Yes," she said. Jake picked her up and spun her around. Her dress flew out like a beautiful white flower. Everyone clapped and cheered for them. Soon, other people joined them on the dance floor. Grandma Rose danced slowly with Grandpa Joe. Emma's mom and dad danced together too. Even little Tommy was dancing, jumping up and down to the music. Emma noticed that Sarah and Lucy came over to her. They looked nervous and sad. "Emma," Sarah said quietly, "we're really sorry. What we did was very mean." "We didn't know about the surprise dress," Lucy added. "We feel very bad about being mean to you." Emma looked at her cousins. She could see they really meant it. "It's okay," she said. "Everyone makes mistakes sometimes." Sarah and Lucy smiled with relief. "Can we dance with you?" they asked. "Yes," Emma said. "Let's all dance together." And they did. All the cousins held hands and danced in a big circle. They laughed and spun around until they got dizzy. As the sun set outside, the wedding party continued. Emma danced with everyone, her brother, her parents, her grandparents, and all her cousins. She felt so loved and happy. Before bedtime, Jake knelt down next to Emma one more time. "Thank you for being the best little sister in the world," he said. "This was the perfect wedding because you were here." Emma hugged him tight. "I love you, Jake," she said. "I love you too, Princess Emma," he replied. That night, Emma learned something very important. Real families take care of each other. They make sure everyone feels loved and special. And sometimes, the most beautiful surprises come after the hardest moments. The mean trick with the torn clothes seemed like a long time ago now. Emma felt grateful for her kind brother, her wise grandma, and even her cousins who learned to say sorry. Love always wins in the end.